Hello and welcome to the YouTube podcast series of Cities ABC and Open Business Council, Fashion ABC and Dennis Guarda. I'm Hilton Supra, the Vice Chairman of Student Group, and I'm looking forward today to interviewing Menashe Shani, who's the co-founder of Purple Lens, where we interview people who are changing the world, people that are inspiring us with their achievements, their creativity, their acumen, particularly with the use of technology. In previous interviews, Dennis Guarda and I have interviewed over 200 amazing people and achieved more than 14 million views on YouTube. This interview series is on Cities ABC and in partnership with our platforms openbusinesscouncil.org and fashionabc.org, all fourth industrial revolution platforms utilizing technology that employ the use of truth and trust through blockchain and the deployment of data analytics, AI, and machine learning. So today, I'd like to introduce you to Menashe Shani, who's the co-founder of Purple Lens. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Hilton. I appreciate it a lot.
I'm very excited to hear a lot about you. You know, you've had a wonderful experience of co-founding quite a significant number of very, very interesting companies, starting with Ink & Co., by Stein Shani, which is specializing in private events and weddings and boutiques. And then you developed Unique, which is more based on incentive trips based on a sort of a global platform, which we'll talk about a little bit later, which has, I think, probably 36 branches around the world, which I think is fantastic. And then, of course, you are based in Israel and you've started the Love Israel celebration, which is LIC, which was created by a team of a great team that you put together, and basically focusing on much more the cultural events around Israel, which needs to be amplified for people in terms of weddings and bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, etc. And then, of course, Project 360, which is really to make people happy. The concept enables individuals from all areas of the event space to volunteer their time and the resources and contribute in a voluntary activity, which I think is a very, very wonderful concept that you put together. Then, of course, Purple Lens, which really is to, yet again, I love the idea of make people happy, which is to create an equal internet experience for people of all abilities and ensure that the content is accessible and easy to use at a really affordable cost, which I think is a fantastic goal. It's something that is well required and needed within this space. So, Menashe, tell me a little bit more about the journey that got us to speaking today, where you're growing up as a young man in Israel. Tell us a little bit about your passions and your experiences, which brought you to where we are today.
So, you mentioned a lot of what we've done and what I've done in the past, and as you can tell from that, now that I heard, listening to you about those achievements, I'm a person of the people. I care about the experience of the people and to meet their expectation, dreams, and goals. And I think though this is what defined me as a person. I grew up in Israel. I cannot tell a lot of my educational experience because I didn't finish actually high school. But I'm a student of life, as they say, and yes, I'm a person of the people, as I mentioned, and with all the venture that you mentioned with Unique and Love Israel Celebration, it's more of a community of different people to achieve and to create dreams for the clients, customers, etc., etc. And with Purple Lens for me today, it's my baby, as it said. create, even though we are talking a lot of technology, and we are living in a world that is very progressive and innovative, and all those worlds, right? We're talking about people that have real needs in the end of the day, that needs, and they're looking for the basic, like the rest of us. It's the people with different abilities. By the way, I call the community the peoples with different abilities and not people with disabilities, right? It's not, I'm trying to change the conversation with the community, because I think it's super important in terms of inclusion and equal way to reach these goals before we dive into the coding and the technology.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very interesting. You and I are talking here using technology, use in Israel, me here in Portugal, and you and I communicating, and we're using technology to enable this conversation. But you and I have different abilities.
Exactly.
Different abilities, even down to the fact that I'm wearing contact lenses and you wearing glasses.
Exactly. And this is what I'm talking about, because I cannot drive in dark time, and nobody knows that. So nobody can define me as a person with disabilities, but yet I cannot drive in the middle of the night. And this is what I'm trying to bridge the distance while speaking out loud with the concept of making an inclusion opportunity for all people with different needs. This is our goal.
Yes, but it's so very interesting that the journey that brought you to this means that you're a person of great empathy, a person of the ability to understand what is the human condition. And if you look at all your experience since 2004 with the private events, the weddings, the boutique events, then that was at Ink and Co. And then at Unique, you did more bespoke. This is interesting, more bespoke events. And then obviously the Love Israel celebration. You're really tapping into the heart and soul of people.
Sure. It's very flattering. I never looked at it that way. We always worked hard in order to provide those empathy. But yes, I agree. So
exactly, and it comes from also the personal experiences. I mean, just give us some examples of the things that you did where you identified that certain people had certain challenges or certain abilities which prevented them from participating fully in all these events.
So for events, it's to make other dream come true, basically. Because you have different kind of events, and if you will see the brands that we have established, it's all dedicated for different audience with different goals. With if it's the private industry for weddings, bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, if it's Unique, it's for the corporate world of incentive trips, or the mice world, right? It's different goal, but in the end of the day, it's actually it's different audience, but in the end of the day, it's the same goals of making their dreams come alive. And this is exactly what we build. Those platforms give the opportunity for them to achieve their goals and dreams. This is. And it's eventually it's coming also for the perspective of user experience. And if you look at Purple, it's the same. Or you know what, Project 360, it's a brand that we created in order to provide people with that cannot afford themselves to have an event, right? But they have the same dream. People that cannot afford themselves to have weddings, sharing the same dreams of getting married and to have a big celebration with lots of guests, food and beverages, right? And to celebrate their moment. And this is what we always trying to do, to try to give back to the community, to follow the say of what goes around comes around. And this is what we did with the Project 360. And and it's the same, always repeat the same user experience to create a better world. And, and with Purpelence, this is what we're trying to do to the online world with websites, right?
Giving people that accessibility to the opportunities for empowerment using technology, where technology is really the empowering tool, where the individual is at the center and that they can be empowered by the technology rather than being a slave to technology.
Exactly. And this is what we're trying to achieve with Purpelence, to meet all parties involved. Because if you I don't know if you're familiar, but there is a regulation and guidelines that you need to stand for. But regulation is not always the 100% of the real solution for the people, for the community. We are trying to reach to meet the parties of the developers and the web designer, the web developers, that they are pushing back just because it's a very sensitive subject, and I understand them. They are saying from one end, from one end there is the community that are demand, and there is the regulation that are pushing, and they need to be in the middle, and it's a very sensitive subject for them. Meet the clients, which are the website owners, that, when everyone wants to do good, right, to give back and to help to each other. But in terms of business, when it's come to your pocket, you start asking questions, you're raising flags of, and it's all totally understandable. I'm not judging no one. Yeah, they're raising the flag of, why do I need to be accessible now in my digital assets? There is no one with the disabled community are not coming to buy or to purchase online for my website, and this is something that we need to educate them from the beginning, and eventually, and I think this is the most important issue, is that we need to find the way that our assistive technology will be usable by the community, and not just another band or another nice to have solution on the website.
I mean, if you look at the numbers, I mean, it's interesting that comment you made. I mean, there's more than 1 billion people who are in this world.
1 out of 5, 25%.
Yes.
So if you take this number, you're walking the street, you meet 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth person that you will meet have some sort of disability. And website owners willing to pass this number up front. And all what they are trying to do at the end of the day, they're trying to convert more in the online. And I'm asking, when a client approach to us, right? And most of them at the moment coming with the flag of, please save me from lawsuit. Please help me avoid lawsuit. And we always stop the conversation at the moment, and we're saying, dear client, you don't want to avoid lawsuit. I'm not a legal advice. I'm not a judge, and I'm not a jury. I have the assistive technology to help you to achieve web accessibility, which this is what you really need. This is what you really want, because this is the world you live, that you want to provide the solution for the community in order to come to you. And by the way, when you look at the community, in my conversation with the focus group, with the full blind users, with the elderly, by the way, elderly, I have so many, by the way, I'm sorry. The elderly doesn't count on the statistics of disability. Now, if we talked about 25%, now try to imagine what is the percentage of the people that you lose online. And let me tell you, the majority of the community don't want to look at them as a poor people. They want to look at them as equal as yourself and in the same level of high, and want them they want you to give them the opportunity to navigate websites properly in an equal way like the rest of us.
Exactly. That is so, so, so important. But you want it to be seamless. That whole user experience, which you talked about in the beginning, has to be seamless in such a way that you feel as a user that your experience is being enhanced by all the tools, whether it is size, color, location, in terms of the web architecture,
right?
Sound and readers and things like that. All those
captions and descriptions and
exactly. A simple thing like an image on an image. I mean, images sell, okay, but an image needs to be explained. So if you explain an image with a title,
right,
and the title has to be machine readable, means
right.
that everybody knows what that image is all about.
Exactly, and we are saying that it's not enough anymore these days. You need to give another description for the same image, not just describe that as a product, a shoes, black shoes, right? It's not enough. You need to provide a bit more of the description, and this is when. This is exactly what we're trying to provide the the developers and the web designers to tell them that they need to think about web accessibility even before they're using Purple Lens or other technology. They need to structure that in their mind as part of the structure of the website. And if they will start from that point to think about all users, so they will achieve 60-70% of the web accessibility, even before using our assistive technology. Our assistive technology, eventually, in the end of the day, it's giving you the opportunity to do that, as a dev tool, as a builder, to help you just to make it in a shorter time, in an easy way. Yeah.
Let me ask a question and an observation that I've made, and we've made a very conscious effort towards that. But how many people that you come across in the dev industry have accessibility issues themselves?
Not a lot, I admit, but I know for a fact that most of them coming back to me after, that we start a relationship or we start working together, and then they say, listen, you open our eyes. Now we see, now we understand, and we want to be part of the movement of web accessibility. Mm-hmm. I told you in the beginning that the web accessibility topic is in a very initial moment, even that we are living in a very progressive world, right, in terms of technology. The web accessibility is a topic that is aligned on so many website platforms builder and so many web developers that have different approach. And I'm not talking against them, but there is different of between if you give to two developers to build the same websites, in the front you will see the same websites, but in the back, in the structure, in the architect of the websites, you will see totally different websites. So that's why we are trying to find the best way in order to give the opportunity to make it easy for them while they are building the website, or they are already built the website and they want to go back to make it accessible.
Mm-hmm. But it must be a very costly experience to retrofit accessibility into a website. It must be much easier to do it from scratch, from the beginning.
Exactly. From the beginning, it's much more easier, but eventually we're living in a world that we have already, there is 200 million active websites, and a very small percentage of those websites are in the way of being accessible. So this is also a point of you to understand that we are in a very initial moment.
Absolutely. But in terms of getting to where we are today, in terms of the work that you've been doing at Purple Lens, there must have been a lot of academic work that you've done in terms of, obviously there's legal requirements, directives, etc., that have been put in place, and they're global. And I did notice that you covered quite a few of those anyway.
Yeah, we did
academic work that you must have tapped into. Where did you capture all this information from, and how did you get to where we are today?
So there is the WCHD guidelines. This is a worldwide guidelines. There is a different regulation and guidelines in different countries, and we always in a phase that we are in a research and development, and we always keep learning and study what need to be the next steps, and we discuss with the community what their really needs eventually. One of our advisory board is a fully blind person that we always reach to him to understand what will be the next step in order to create a better usable website. One of our developers is a fully blind from birth that really develop writing codes, thousands of lines of codes in order to achieve accessibility. So yes, you're right. We learned a lot, we research a lot, and we keep doing that. And let me tell you, there is hundreds of tasks open on our assistive technology every day from the first day when we established the company, and there is a long way that we need to walk in order to achieve the best assistive technology. Mm-hmm. Exactly what we're doing.
I mean, essentially, your ultimate goal would be that when we are building our ecosystem to communicate with our customers and potential customers, with the goods and services we provide them, that all these considerations, all these tools and all these applications and integrations, etc., are what we call standard open source practices.
This is the goal.
That's the goal.
Standard. And this is the future. Hilton, you know what? In not that far, but in 2 or 3 years from now, mm-hmm. conversation, I don't think it will exist. We will talk about other things within this subject, but it's not, now we are talking about yes or no, or why I should be, right? But mm-hmm. this conversation, it will be not exist. It will be obvious. And this is why we are trying to make our technology usability over accessibility. This is a sentence that it's reading on the wall of our developers. Try to find it, go beyond and above guidelines and regulation, because actually those regulations, if it's not usable by the community, it doesn't help. And also, if you think about it, most website owners and businesses with the digital assets, what they are trying to achieve, they're trying to convert more, right? And the fancier that the website goes, the usability goes down by everyone. By the way, I don't know if you're familiar with those pop-ups that come up on your website, right? Mm-hmm. When you're trying to leave the website. For me, it's taking like 6 to 10 seconds to find the X to close the
yes.
You agree?
Absolutely. Yes.
So try to imagine a blind person that need to find this X on the website in order to close that. He eventually is leaving the website. He's not. He will wait for someone to come sit with it.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. So for the benefit of our listeners, could you describe to the audience what your definition of usability is, and give some examples of where usability tools, when integrated, can help?
Yes. Okay. So when I'm talking about usability, so one of our feature on our assistive technology is an optional feature that we present, and I will take again the blind, fully blind people. We offer them we integrate to the screen reader and we offer them a full accessible mood in order to navigate in a mood that it's a better space for them to navigate. And I will explain. If a blind user, and let's assume that the website it's 100% accessible. Okay, they're going into the websites and they're starting reading the website from top to bottom, right? So it's reading the logo of the website, and then it's go. Let's assume that the user want to buy pair of shoes. Okay, so they go to the website and start logo of the website, and then women, kids, men. He's a man. He's pressing enter, and it's starting refresh again, and then it go up again to the logo of the website. Men shoes, men pants, men's shirt. Let's assume that he's. If he came to the shoes, so you will press enter, and it will refresh again. So try to imagine that it's like 50 to 100 steps in order to get what they are looking for. And with our mood, they are achieving that we are integrating into the database of the website, and we presented a mood that they have a search line in order to search directly what they are looking for, and then we present them with no refresh of the website, and they can go into the product within 5 to 10 steps to the product directly. So this is one part of the usability over accessibility.
So that's like 101, ideal world, that there is a one-to-one correlation between a descriptor for somebody who has limited sight, and they can navigate to where they want to go. But that's a direct one-to-one reaction. Okay.
Right. It's a direct and it's an optional. It's very important that it will be an optional, because this is the way to look at the person as an unequal way, to give him the optional way to do that, and not to guide him to do that way.
Yes. But this is very, very interesting, because this is where artificial intelligence and machine learning can also be of great assistance, because if I'm a person with limited user abilities, rather than the traditional search bars are for search engines, the algorithm is based on certain indexing of certain aspects. If you're familiar with the last 2 years, the project of GPT-3, which was GPT-2 before AI, basically is that which would enable everybody to say, okay, I want to buy some black shoes made of leather, in this, delivery to my house in Jerusalem or wherever, and my size is this, and da-da-da-da. Okay, that experience using smart technology would take them to the search options that would short circuit quite a significant amount of that one-to-one going through.
Exactly. And this is something that we are dealing with today. But if we are going back to what I told you, that we have 200 million websites, active websites, and we are in a very small percentage of accessible those websites. Machine learning and AI based on database. So there is still a lot to do and a lot to learn from the community, and to achieve the basic technology in order to achieve that kind of solution. And we are there, but we have a way to walk.
Absolutely.
But I agree, this is the future. Yeah.
Exactly. So tell me a little more about Purple Lens, because I understand that it's a plugin that you download and you put it onto your website. Whether it's WordPress, I presume that most web the web, the plugin works for that. Yeah.
So these days we are cross-platform. We're not just working with the WordPress platform. We work with Joomla, Wix, with the rest of the platform, right? We fit to ourselves. It's not just a plugin for WordPress. It's also a code that you can implement into your websites. It does, I would say, 70% automated solution with web accessibility, and then it provides you with two things. One feature is the scanner. We have the scanner that scan your page and point you with the issues, with the accessibility issues that need to be resolved. If you want, it's an optional that you can go learn and study about these issues, or we provide you with the solution in order to integrate with your database and to fix it. This is the second one. It's the toolbar that's coming across to your website and allow the people or the users to use those features like increasing font, to change colors for blind colors, colorblind users,
color blindness, yes,
color blindness, people with diagnosis with epilepsy that need to stop Flash. They cannot navigate on Flash websites. And we also provide you with a dev tool for the developers in order to walk through the tools to achieve 100% accessibility. And this is what we are pushing for. Not to just have, not to compromise on having a tools to achieve 70%, average of 70% accessible to your website. We're pushing them in order to achieve 100%. And we give them all the guidelines, all the video tutorials. We give them all the support in order to achieve that. This is super important message that need to come out from you.
Let me ask you a question. So this is a plugin that we would like an API that the user puts into their platform.
Sure.
Okay, number one. Number two, the user experience coming on board. So a user who has a usability preference, like color blindness, okay, if they're when they come onto the platform, assuming they haven't registered yet, they won't be able to, it'll be as accessible to
immediately.
Them.
Immediately. It will be immediately. They don't need to register. The user, it's a user experience that it's part of the website that they present.
Okay, so you don't have to make it's like languages, you click on it's English or click on it whether it's French or...
The developers need to be involved and to make all those definitions in order to achieve what I just tell you, to achieve the 100% accessible and the integration with the screen reader software, and to help people with motoric disabled that using only clicker, or they cannot use keyboards and they use pedals in order to integrate those software to navigate website. But users, they don't need to do anything. It's already there. The developers part, this is the site, or the website owners or the website manager need to do all the steps in order to achieve 100% accessible, and we said usability over accessibility.
So when I come onto the website, I should automatically have a usability access to the website without me having to make an active choice.
Exactly. You just, you need to, you have some preference. So you need to choose. If you go to the toolbar, you need to choose to change the color for black and white, or you need to change the color for a different color, or you need to increase the font size of the websites without compromise, etc., etc. But as a user, you get the assistive technology solution as standalone, and then you choose the preference that you.
And I mean, how many of these of the tools that you've built include voice navigation, so the ability to actually direct your way around a website or universe with your own voice?
So at the moment, this feature is available for all website owners that choose the package of e-commerce or the content solution in order to achieve that.
Yes.
So it's automatically there. So most of our clients have it.
Mm-hmm. This is very interesting. What you've done is at the moment, the experience that you've put together is very much based on what we call Web 2. And as you know, we're now moving into a much more of an experience-based environment based on Web 3,
Sure.
which has its own challenges, particularly for people with different abilities. And in most cases, some of these experiences are incredibly liberating for certain people who have mobility issues and they can navigate around universes. And then you can talk about avatars and things like that, which are, in a different layer of complexity in terms of usability. And the usability in terms of designing these environments have the same challenges as in the Web 2 space. Colors.
Exactly the same.
Facial recognition, all those sort of things.
True. It's so we based on Web 2, but I want to say that we're based on the people capabilities. It's not going to change in the moment. So maybe the technology is changing and evolving and et cetera, et cetera. But the people, we are coming from the people. We ask them what they need and not guessing what they will be needed.
Yes. So give us some examples of your focus groups, and you've spoken to various people in these focus groups. What have been the surprising conclusions that you've come to?
The first, the most important one I will tell you. We had a conversation. I don't want to mention the name of the organization, but it was at some point that I was, and I admit, I was over nice, like over caring, and it was from the perspective of I want to help you, and you know what I mean. And then some person stopped and told me, Menashe, if you want me to help you, I want you to look at me. I'm a fully blind person, but I want you to look at me the same as you look at yourself in the mirror. I'm a user. I'm not a poor person. I'm not a gray person. I have more money than you to spend online. I want you to look at me that way. I want to dress fashionably. I have style. My home decorated better than yours, I'm sure. So then it was like a lightning for me. I stopped everything and I changed all the conversation. I'm telling you, this was a great moment of working with focus group, with the discussion, and it's changed completely the way I'm thinking about what we are doing with Purple Lens and the way I look and speak with other people with different abilities. Totally different. It's an amazing moment.
That was such a wonderful revelation, and it is looking at people in terms of what are their superpowers rather than their inabilities.
Exactly.
You have to, and that's the whole point about accessibility, equality, equal opportunity, all these things. People should not be defined
by their capabilities. Exactly. And if I don't want to speak against them, but some of our competitors or our colleagues, when they are doing marketing, they're using this way of getting the attention of the people. Like, let's feel sorry for them. Let's help the community. And this is the wrong way to look at that. I don't believe in that. We never use that. We never raise the flag of we are helping to others. We are here to provide an assistive technology that really help all of us to navigate better on websites. And we are here to provide a solution for website owners that cannot afford themselves thousands of dollars to build or scratch or coding from to apply web accessibility from coding from scratch, which is at the moment it's a very expensive solution. This is what we are doing.
Mm-hmm. So you talk about your passion and your experience as a designer, and you talk a bit about giving people what they want in a seamless way. And you talk about on and offline quite a lot in your 20. So tell me a little bit about what do you actually mean by that on and offline, because this is and as we move towards Web3, this is a very interesting concept.
So basically what I meant over there, it's just because I was dealing with the physical world in terms of the events that we created and the online world, which we are working with Purple. And this was my attention when I, yeah.
But that's very interesting, because as we move into this whole dive into this Web3 metaverse with no real connection to reality, divorcing everybody from reality, is this, we're taking ourselves down to this dystopian world where I believe that technology is an enabler, with the individual at the center being enabled by technology. And as we move into the Web3 experience, all that is an experience in a different way of presenting the digital world to the individual in terms of the options of goods, services, ideas, etc. But this still has to be connected with reality. So, as basic as you buy a super pair of new types of trainers, okay, that you've practically designed in the Web3 experience based on your avatar, that you actually are delivered it and you can actually wear them for real in the real world.
Yeah, this is very interesting what you just said. I didn't think about it yet, I admit, but it's a very, very interesting phase of the near future.
Exactly. We can't be following this completely meta approach to complete disconnect from reality. I think there has to be this. It has been an augmented part of our real world, sure, adding on experiences. And this is where the usability factor comes in, because we can't ignore, as you say, a large proportion of society that will have usability issues with the new technologies.
And they have now.
Yes.
Having trouble navigate properly on the online world. Mm-hmm. We have to acknowledge it.
But remember one thing: there are people that have adapted with the technologies in the gaming world and are very good gamers in various well-known games, and their abilities are restricted because of vision, or vision particularly. But they're just as active and as better than a large majority. So that's like an extreme example.
It's an extreme example. It's amazing. I just read an article about it. You're right. It's amazing. It's blown my mind to understand that there is some gamers that have different abilities, and they are disabled people, but they are superpower in the gaming world while using those technologies. It's amazing. It's an amazing moment.
Yes. It is indeed. So tell us, just let's focus a little bit on Purple Lens in terms of, for the audience, how do they get access to the technology? What do they do? And walk us through the user experience of getting access to the technology and how to use the technology. Just take us through a user journey.
So it's very comfortable and easy way. Basically, we are a SaaS platform that our clients coming and open themselves a dashboard. They're adding a site, they're getting the technology, if it's a plugin or it's a script they need to implement in the websites, and then they get the platform in order to achieve the accessibility that we mentioned on this call. and that's it. It's over there. I know it sounds simple, and it's not, but it's not that complicated in order to achieve that. And then they open their websites for a new and a large audience. They didn't get the access to walk through those websites. It's that's it, Hilton. It's not that complicated, but it's still things that need to be done.
Yes. So if I'm a developer and I have usability issues, I can actually go to your website. I can download the plugin through the API, etc., and do the whole functionality through your website.
Yes, exactly. Easy.
Wow. You really thought about so many things. I mean, I've had a look at many different iterations of these type of usability tools, but this sounds very exciting in terms of the direction that you are taking.
Hopefully, maybe we can jump on another call one day with our CTO in order to present you with a real demo with all the steps along the way to achieve that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed for that. I look forward to that. So in terms of our audience, tell us a little bit more of how best to get in contact with you and connect with you, and whether it's direct through your website or social media.
I'm on all the platform. I'm looking forward to speak with everyone. I'm ready to speak and to tell more about Purple Lens goals and achievement to everyone that want to listen, willing to listen. So they can approach me anytime on the social and the direct from the websites, and to speak with our team, with our support team, with our customer success team. Onboarding, we are here in order to help everyone to achieve 100% accessibility for their website.
Okay. And for the community, so it's basically purple-lens.com, which is your platform.
Right.
And also you have a community built into that, I think, don't you? That people can actually join the community and participate in any of the development.
So yeah, we are open for the community, for the deaf community, and for the community for people with different abilities, and we always seek for comments, and we are not afraid of being we are ready for criticism, as long as it's a structured criticism, to improve ourselves and to learn more about what needs to be done and what's not. So we have a lot of different platforms for the different communities: website owners, web developers, web designers, accessibility expert community. There is and I'm calling everyone to come to have the discussion. And if I may, this is an opportunity. On February 14th, we are going to have a live webinar at Monday.com offices in Israel for a discussion about web accessibility, and it will be with developers and with accessibility experts in order to keep growing in this topic.
Fantastic for putting that out to the community, and hopefully many people will be joining. We certainly will be able to help amplify that for you. Menashe, thank you very, very much for a very, very, very enjoyable time. I learned a lot. I'm excited to see how integrated your usability at Purple Lens is going to be. Thank you very much indeed.
Me too, and thank you so much for having me on this call. I'm very much appreciated.
Thank you, and have a good day. Thank you, Menashe.
You too.
If you're interested in knowing more about citiesabc.com with openbusinesscouncil.org and Fashion ABC, go to our platforms, as well as you can find me on social media and DM me which is mainly Hilton Supra, on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And do go to the other interviews we have done on YouTube. And don't forget to like and comment. And thank you very much for your time and engaging with this interview on Cities ABC.